been the most challenging aspect of your initial teacher training experience?
I think the most challenging thing has probably been switching off, because when you're doing the training and you're doing your working life through School Direct, then switching off and stopping thinking, the point where you need to stop thinking about it, because there's so much to process. So keeping the work-life balance and reflecting, but also making sure that you're making time for yourself and keeping healthy otherwise.
So what has been the most rewarding aspect of your training experience?
The most rewarding thing at Heathcote has definitely been the achievements of students, and I'm not talking about the big achievements necessarily, but there's small things that you've made a difference with a student, where you've worked together and perhaps changed their perception of, or they've changed their perception. They've gone from one point believing that they couldn't do something and maybe even wouldn't want to try it, to having tried it and maybe gaining a bit of confidence. So I'm not necessarily talking about the big achievements like in my subject, things like exhibitions, which are fantastic and obviously a massive high point, but day to day you're having those small achievements and seeing confidence build up in your students.
What would you say are the key qualities needed to train to become a teacher?
Key qualities for a teacher, from my experience, I'd say definitely the love of learning, because if you can show that to your students, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be love of your subject, because I think the love of learning will convey that to students. So your love of learning takes you through the subject, and you have to be willing to change and willing to reflect, very patient, and also just letting yourself have fun with students as well. I think that's a real bond, to be able to, not necessarily letting your guard down, but bonding with students. I think that's really important.
How has Heathcote helped you in your progress as a teacher?
At Heathcote, I've been immersed in school life. So some teachers haven't even necessarily known that I was training. So doing School Direct, it's absolutely hands-on. You're doing the job, and there's people there to support you through the School Direct program, but also in the school. And I don't think anything can come that you could learn in a more formal setting, or that you could think you're learning outside of a school, could compare to the school experience.
And what has been the most important aspect of your mentoring experience during your training?
With my mentor, the dialogue has been crucial, because my mentor has seen me go through all of these changes and reflects on the me changing in myself, in my perception, in my attitude to my learning, in so many different things related to my working life. And also it does affect you personally as well. I think to go through the process and to be mentored and to develop the skills you need to teach. I think definitely observations have been marvellous. The things that you can observe that you're not necessarily aware that you're taking in at the time perhaps, but then when you're teaching, because you're observing and then you're teaching as well, using those things, or trying things, even tiny bits of script, or seeing something that's worked well, or reflecting on something that you think you might, in your own way of talking, you might do slightly differently. So observations as well as the mentoring and dialogue.